ESPN senior writer Jeff Legwold joining us tonight. Leggy, first we got to start with the news that I think shocked the NFL world, the entire sports world last night. Andrew Luck announcing his retirement. Your reaction to the Colts quarterback walking away at age 29?
Well, he's at the game. He's at a preseason game on the sideline when all this is happening, and everyone in the crowd is obviously looking at their phones, getting the alerts of the story. I've heard people speculate, we haven't seen anything like this. But this is as close to Jim Brown as we've seen. Jim Brown was a league MVP the year before he retired. He scored 3 touchdowns in the Pro Bowl and then retired. So he was a league MVP at the peak of his career, having scored 3 touchdowns in a Pro Bowl. Jim Brown retires. This is as close as it gets. It's not quite that because of the injury history, but this is a quarterback in his prime who likely left hundreds of millions of dollars on the table because of physical pain.
It seems like every time something like this happens, a young guy retires, everybody starts to say, hey, this might become a trend. Do you think that will become a trend?
It's a trend for the guys who've been good with their money. Yeah. Andrew Luck's a quarterback. He got a $100 million contract. He has the financial wherewithal to do this. Not every player has that luxury. I know a lot of players, most players, frankly, when they reach 29, 30, they begin to question every summer, do I really want to do this? And I think that's the underestimated part of this story. The physical toll of the league, of the game, is not something I think people wrap their heads around. I think they think about it once in a while, but the toll it takes, I am telling you, every single player who hits 29, 30, 31 years old, they think long and hard every offseason about what they're going to do and do they really want to do this anymore. And I think that's where he got. He said the constant pain has robbed me of the ability to play. And you can do a lot of things if you don't like it very much, if you just happen to be good at it. Football is not one of them.
Yeah, he lost his love for the game. From the now former Colts quarterback to the Broncos quarterbacks that we saw yesterday in L.A. Have the Broncos seen enough from either Brett Rippon or Kevin Hogan to feel good about one of those two going into the right?
Did I say that
You can go ahead and cut me off. I kind of know the answer here.
Yeah. No, I think it's a bad sign for Kevin Hogan when they take you out of a preseason game before the 2-minute drill. That's what they want to see from a quarterback in the preseason. So I think now they're going to kick the tires a little bit on Brett Rippon and see, can he be the backup? I think it's an indication of 2 things. They're going to be shopping very hard at cutdown time. They are going to see what veteran quarterbacks are out there and who might fit in a short period of time, because it's got to be a guy who knows the offense a little and can get ready quickly. So they're going to shop hard for that guy, and if the right name is there, they're going to do it. The other thing is, this is an indication that Drew Lock is injury recovery is going to take some time, and they are planning for someone else to be the backup quarterback when they open the season.
How big of a concern are the Broncos special teams right now?
A huge concern. But this is, you and I have talked, this is where the depth gets you. If you have back-to-back drafts, 2016, 2017, 2017 especially, that draft did not come through for the Broncos. They missed. And when you miss on consecutive drafts, the first place you're going to see it is depth on special teams, and this is what you're seeing now. They don't have the depth players to have quality special teams units, and I think that's why they will be a potentially busy team at waiver time, and there's going to be a few Broncos who make the team and are happy for 24 hours, and then suddenly waiver claims are going to come, and suddenly those guys get the cruelest cut of all.
The 5th and final preseason game coming up Thursday. Is there a guy or maybe a couple of guys that can submit their spot on this team?
I think certainly, and those back end players, the last player at every position, that's their game. That's the game where you can make your name. Where they say, okay, he can be the 6th defensive lineman. He can be the 8th offensive lineman, the 6th receiver. The 6th receiver, that's the spot. You got to be a returner. Somebody's got to step for, it's going to be Nick Williams. It's going to be Kelvin McKnight. Someone has to step into those roles, and the way you step into it is do it during a game. And it's very important for some of these guys because those are the spots that are open.
Maybe not the most exciting brand of football to watch as a fan, but obviously a very important game for some of those guys trying to prove that they deserve a roster spot. Leggy, you always got a roster spot with us here at CBS 4, man.
Thank goodness.
Thanks so much for stopping by.